This is the tale of an extraordinary sniper with a unique skill. He's a master of disguise. Secret agencies from multiple countries are after him, yet he always manages to outwit them. His marksmanship is flawless, earning him a price tag of millions of dollars for each mission. What's more impressive is his ability to craft weapons with such sophistication that even the most advanced detection systems fail to identify them. Let's dive into his latest adventure, an enthralling journey of deception, danger, and deadly precision. The perfect disguise. The story begins with our sniper, standing before a mirror, meticulously perfecting his disguise and practicing a particular line repeatedly. He's assumed the identity of an elderly janitor, a man he had already strangled earlier. Disguised as this man, he heads to the company where the deceased worked. At the entrance, a security guard scolds him for arriving late. But the sniper's disguise is flawless, even the facial recognition system at the gate matches him to the deceased janitor, Ralph. Colleagues greet him as Ralph, oblivious to the truth. After casually engaging with them, he makes his way to the 13th floor, his target's office. Precision execution. Once inside, he activates a vacuum cleaner to mask the sound of his actions and attaches a silencer to his pistol. A woman unexpectedly enters, and without hesitation, he delivers a clean headshot. Panic erupts. Amid the chaos, he locates his primary target and fires 3 shots. The target narrowly escapes, fleeing down the stairs. The sniper doesn't panic, instead, he anticipates the man's next move. From above, he aims and fires, shattering the target's knee. Yet, he doesn't kill him. This act of mercy is part of his larger plan. As police and paramedics swarm the building, the sniper retreats to the rooftop. Tossing smoke bombs to obscure his escape, he leaps from the building, vanishing into thin air. The safe house. We soon find him in a modest hotel room. Here, we glimpse his real face, a seemingly innocent and youthful visage that belies his true nature. By the following morning, his assassination attempt has made headlines across Germany. An unfinished mission. The injured man turns out to be Elias Fest, son of Germany's most powerful political leader, Manfred Fest. Furious and alarmed, the elder Fest rushes to the hospital to see his son. Meanwhile, the sniper begins preparing for his next move. Using the earlier attack as bait, he aims to draw Manfred Fest out into the open. Setting up his custom-made rifle, he calibrates it to perfection. With precision that's almost divine, he fires a bullet that pierces Fest's skull. Escaping the authorities. Within minutes, chaos ensues. The sniper calmly disassembles his rifle, concealing it back into a briefcase. Before leaving, he plants a time bomb under the bed. As he switches to a decoy car parked a few kilometers away, the first car explodes, erasing any evidence of his DNA. Global shockwaves. News of the assassination spreads like wildfire. MI6 agents in the UK are stunned by the sniper's abilities. They compare his work to the world record for the longest confirmed sniper kill, 3,540 meters, set by a Ukrainian sniper in 2023. But this sniper surpasses all expectations, leaving agents in awe and disbelief. One of the MI6 agents, Bianca, is assigned to track him down. A skilled operative, she juggles her demanding career and a strained relationship with her daughter, Jasmine. Her pursuit of the sniper soon leads her to connections with underground arms dealers. The dark web deal. Meanwhile, the sniper moves to Paris, where he spends a day at a cafe scouting for his next target. Through the dark web, he secures a contract worth $100 million to eliminate a billionaire tech inventor, Old Dad Charles. Ol is the CEO of UDC, a tech company poised to launch a revolutionary app called River. The app promises transparency by revealing financial details of anyone, anywhere. Such a powerful tool has made him enemies in high places. A dangerous alliance. The sniper agrees to the contract under strict terms, $20 million upfront and the remaining $80 million upon completion. He sets the wheels in motion for this high-stakes mission. Bianca's chase. In parallel, Bianca discovers a lead, Norman Stock, a legendary gunsmith believed to have supplied the sniper's weapon. Norman has been off the radar for years, but Bianca believes she can locate him through his sister-in-law, Allison. Her investigation takes her to Belarus, where she narrowly survives a deadly encounter with Norman. Although he escapes, she retrieves his custom briefcase, a portable sniper rifle disguised as luggage. The sniper's double life. Back in Spain, the sniper returns to his opulent home. Here, we meet his unsuspecting wife, Nuri, and their young daughter. To them, he's a loving husband and father. Nuri remains unaware of his double life, even as he plans his next move. Bianca's desperation. As the sniper advances his plans, Bianca faces personal and professional challenges. Her interrogation tactics with Allison lead to tragedy. Allison's daughter, Emma, dies in police custody due to a heart condition. Grief-stricken but relentless, Bianca vows to bring the sniper to justice. In the previous part, we saw that Jackal had reached Tallinn to eliminate his new target. Even a renowned intelligence agency like MI6 hadn't uncovered his real name. Police forces across Europe were on the lookout for him, but Jackal was incredibly cunning. He would adopt a new identity and disguise for every operation, which is why he had never been caught until now. However, things were about to change. The ceiling of the theater in Tallinn, where Jackal was working on extracting footage, was a sliding one. Completely unaware of this, Jackal focused on retrieving the footage. Suddenly, the ceiling began to slide, and before he could fall, he grabbed onto a cable to hang on. The weight caused the cable tie to loosen, and his phone slipped from his grip and fell below. Somehow, Jackal managed to climb back up, calming his nerves after the close call. His entire plan could have been ruined if he hadn't recovered. After the concert ended, he approached a theater security guard and explained his problem. The guard lent him his phone to make a call, and coincidentally, Jackal's own phone was lying on the floor. This interaction led to an acquaintance between the two. The guard's name was Rajmas, and Jackal introduced himself as Peter. Meanwhile, MI6 had released a list of the world's top snipers. Bianca, determined to track him, visited a retired army veteran who had once been a legendary sniper and maintained connections with his sniper friends. She asked him if he knew of anyone capable of targeting someone from 3,500 yards. The veteran mentioned Alexander Duggan, a sharpshooter who had emerged after his retirement and was exceptionally skilled. However, Duggan had reportedly died in Kabul 10 years ago when his squad was caught in a bomb blast, leaving no identifiable remains. Bianca wondered if Duggan had somehow survived. Bianca immediately contacted her sources to gather information about Alexander Duggan. Meanwhile, Larry, still in London, purchased a new SIM card and messaged his brother Norman, seeking an address. Through their conversation, we learned that Norman had been injured in an attack, an incident that would later cause complications. In the evening, Bianca returned home to find Larry waiting for her. He had taken her daughter hostage and intended to kill her in front of Bianca. Before he could harm Jasmine, Bianca broke his kneecap. Jasmine escaped with minor scratches, and Larry was arrested. The following morning, Jackal wandered the streets of Tallinn and, upon seeing a woman's foot, had a sudden realization. He quickly sent a message to Norman using a secure line. Jackal needed a custom gun for his next operation, as his target was 75 meters away. However, the challenge wasn't the distance but getting past metal detectors and ultra-sensitive scanners. Norman was capable of making such a gun, but his injured right hand made it difficult, and he didn't trust anyone else. Jackal offered to help him build the gun, convincing Norman to proceed. Bianca, on the other hand, visited Larry in the hospital, forcing him to reveal Norman's location by choking him until he confessed. Norman was in Budapest, living in a white building near a stable on the city's southern outskirts. Bianca shared this information with her team. Since the area was large, it would take time to locate Norman, and they couldn't afford to take unnecessary risks. While Bianca and her team prepared for the operation, Jackal reached Budapest. He maintained regular contact with his family, ensuring he appeared normal. Norman picked him up, and they met face-to-face for the first time. At Norman's hideout, Jackal noticed an old sniper rifle that brought back memories, hinting at his military past. They got to work on Jackal's design, a gun concealed within a fractured boot. Norman was impressed by the concept. To bypass scanners, Jackal suggested using plastic for most parts. Norman proposed using lightweight metal for the barrel, which could fire 7 to 8 rounds, enough for Jackal's mission. It took them 5 hours to write the printing code, followed by 10 hours for the machines to print the parts. During this time, they discussed Norman's trip to Belarus and MI6's attack on him. Jackal warned Norman to avoid such mistakes in the future. By midnight, MI6 had narrowed down Norman's location. Bianca and her team left for Budapest, and by morning, the fractured boot was ready. Norman taught Jackal how to assemble the gun, and Jackal tested it in a nearby forest. After a few adjustments, the gun was accurate. While Jackal returned to the hideout, MI6 agents raided Norman's building. Jackal called Norman, who was asleep, to warn him. By the time Norman woke up, the agents had breached the premises. Norman deleted the gun's design files but was eventually captured after a shootout. Bianca interrogated Norman about the gun used in the Manfred Fest assassination, but he refused to cooperate. Bianca found clues suggesting that the same shooter had another target. They deduced that the shooter was Jackal, based on the evidence left behind. Bianca informed Norman that his brother Larry had betrayed him, ensuring both brothers would spend their lives in prison. Enraged, Norman stood up, only to be shot dead by a sniper, Jackal. Jackal escaped on a horse but fell after colliding with a tree branch. Despite MI6's pursuit, he used his sniper skills to target agents in the dark forest. Ultimately, he jumped into a pond to evade capture. Jackal then sought refuge in a nearby warehouse but was captured by its owner, Jag. After being locked up all night, Jackal offered Jag money for his release. Jag initially agreed but changed his mind upon seeing Jackal's rifle. Jag contacted his brother, planning to extort Jackal further. However, Jackal overpowered Jag, killed him, and escaped with his equipment. When Jag's brother arrived, Jackal killed him too and took another man hostage, using him to navigate safely out of town. Jackal spared the man's life but took his phone to contact Nuri, apologizing for everything and asking her to retrieve some items from a specific room. Meanwhile, Bianca's team uncovered Jackal's fingerprints from a crime scene 10 kilometers away. They also investigated Norman's informant within MI6. Jackal, now disguised, boarded a flight to Tallinn, coincidentally alongside Bianca. In Tallinn, Jackal continued his preparations. With help from Rajmas, he accessed the theater, where he planned to hide in the ceiling for 48 hours to carry out his mission during the UDC concert. The story concludes as Jackal reflects on his first meeting with Nuri, recalling how their love story began. In the last part, we saw that Jackal failed to shoot UDC. He now had only 48 hours left, as UDC was set to launch the River Project 2 days from today. Meanwhile, Jackal was preparing to eliminate UDC, though the task had become increasingly complicated. This is Velman Island in Croatia, where UDC resided. It was a fortress of his empire, where not even a bird could move without his permission. Surveillance drones operated 24/7, ensuring no lapse in monitoring. Even the supply boats bringing food and essentials were thoroughly checked. By chance, if any unauthorized boat appeared near the island, it would not be allowed to proceed without inspection. UDC's control extended over land, water, and air. On the other hand, Bianca met with her commander, Duggan, who was struggling with a serious illness. She learned that Duggan had been killed along with his squad in a bombing. While her boss, Isabel, accepted this as a failure and decided to close the case, Bianca was convinced that Jackal was within reach. An intense argument ensued between the two, with Bianca refusing to give up. Isabel dismissed her persistence, prompting Bianca to resign from her job. In another twist, the suspicion of treason within Unit S6 fell on Bianca's senior, OC. However, he managed to answer all questions and cleared himself. Meanwhile, Jackal returned to Spain to retrieve some passports from his locker and reunite briefly with his family. Nuri, his partner, grew increasingly suspicious, doubting even his real name. Was he really Charles, as Duggan had repeatedly shouted, or was that another lie? Jackal had resolved to quit his life of crime after completing one last mission. However, Nuri remained unconvinced, suspecting he was making excuses. The next morning, Charles prepared for an operation, arming himself with weapons. At that moment, Nuri's brother arrived, needing Jackal's help to meet a powerful local don named Jimmy. This enraged Nuri, who warned Charles about Jimmy's dangerous reputation. However, Charles, unperturbed, agreed to meet Jimmy to discuss a potential business partnership. A meeting was set for 1 p.m. at the Sierra Hotel. At the same time, Charles met an old fisherman friend to borrow a boat for some solo fishing, seeking peace. When Charles didn't show up at the meeting on time, Jimmy grew furious. In frustration, Jimmy's associate let slip that Charles was a wealthy man and a valuable business prospect. At that moment, a sniper bullet pierced Jimmy's head. It was Jackal's doing. Killing people had become second nature to him. He quickly armed himself and headed for the Croatian city of Split, near Velman Island. Meanwhile, Bianca learned about Jimmy's murder, suspecting it was Jackal's work due to the precision involved. The following morning, Jackal hired a boatman under the pretense of hunting a rare bird found on Playvac Island. Midway through the journey, Jackal killed the boatman and prepared his advanced sniper gun, equipped with a gimbal to stabilize it against water movement and a sensor for locking onto targets. When a drone entered his vicinity, Jackal quickly camouflaged the weapon and pretended to fish. UDC's security team monitored the boat but, considering it was 2 miles away, deemed it a minor threat. At 10 a.m., UDC followed his daily routine of swimming in the sea after the guards inspected the area. Jackal, now prepared, aimed his sniper at UDC. However, a passing boat disrupted his shot, and UDC dove into the water. The security team, noticing the sniper, sent someone to investigate the fishing boat. Jackal eliminated the intruder, confirming the sniper's presence to the guards. UDC's guard tried to shield him underwater, but Jackal's advanced sensor locked onto the target. Though the water reduced the bullet's impact, Jackal waited for UDC to surface, eventually killing the security guard. UDC attempted to swim towards the shore, but Jackal's calculations were precise. Within seconds, he managed to shoot UDC, killing him. Chaos erupted on Velman Island as authorities cordoned off the area. Jackal narrowly escaped, running over a guard with his car and leading police on a wild chase before vanishing. The news of UDC's death spread quickly, causing his organization to delay the river launch. In New York, Winthrop, who was behind UDC's death, celebrated. However, MI6 Chief Isabel faced scrutiny. She had initially closed the case but now had to answer for UDC's assassination. Elsewhere, Jackal's escape led to another complication. While saving a child, his car overturned, trapping him inside. A passerby helped him escape, only to have Jackal hijack his car at gunpoint. Meanwhile, the investigation into Jimmy's murder revealed that his associate, Alvar, was innocent. Nuri, however, was furious with Alvar and broke ties with him, choosing Charles over her family. Jackal moved to a remote area to destroy evidence before continuing on foot. He encountered an elderly couple on a picnic, tricking them into giving him a ride under the pretense of a medical emergency. Realizing too late they had been duped, the couple tried to resist, but Jackal killed them in self-defense, though it wasn't his intention. Jackal then called Nuri, informing her that it was time to leave Spain permanently. Meanwhile, Bianca and Vince reached Spain, obtaining files on Jimmy's case. They began connecting the dots, suspecting that Charles Cawthron, Jackal's alias, was behind it all. As Jackal reached the Montenegrin border, he evaded police checkpoints by taking a deserted route. Later, an altercation with the elderly couple ended tragically, as Jackal killed them both. Filled with regret, he resumed his escape. Bianca and Vince staked out Nuri's house, hoping to capture Jackal alive to uncover the mastermind behind him. When Nuri left with her child and a bag of money, Bianca chose to wait for Jackal. That evening, Jackal returned, only to find Nuri gone. Realizing he had been betrayed, Jackal began packing when he was interrupted by Nuri's drunken brother. A struggle ensued, ending with Jackal killing him. Bianca and Vince stormed the house but couldn't locate Jackal, who was hiding in a secret room. He ambushed Vince, killing him instantly. Bianca confronted Jackal, addressing him by his real name, Alexander Duggan. She demanded to know why he had chosen this path, but Duggan countered with his own questions, ultimately killing her. Meanwhile, Nuri reached an international airport, throwing away her phone to ensure she couldn't be tracked. Duggan, now hunted by MI6, met with a severe car accident during his escape. Following the operation, Isabel was promoted to chief, though OC suspected foul play, believing Bianca and Vince had been used as bait. Before leaving, Bianca had messaged OC, warning him about Isabel's intentions and the potential fallout.